Hi friends and subscribers, this is Mehmet Sheikh, and from past few videos I am working on developing a blog application using core PHP and mysql database. In my last video I discussed how to connect our PHP application with our database. Okay, so here is our application. Okay, and we had successfully displayed a message as connection established based on the based on our script that we have written here in our db.php file inside this config folder. Okay, so here we are checking if we find the database or if everything went fine, they'll be displaying a message as connection established, or if anything goes wrong they will be displaying an error message. Okay, so and in today's video we'll be discussing on developing a registration feature for our application, okay, which is exactly similar to this. Okay, so we'll be creating exactly same looking form, a registration form where the user can register himself and the record gets saved inside the database. Okay, so for that first we need to go to bootstrap.com and then from there we need to select any of the theme. Okay, I'm selecting this Cosmo theme. Okay, here, okay, once you click on the preview you will be get redirected to this page. Okay, here you can see I have a navigation menu, so I will just click on this link. Okay, and then I will just copy this entire piece of code. I will just copy, I'll press Ctrl C, and then I will come to my index file. Okay, and then I'll create a HTML form. Okay, PHP blog application. Okay, and then here inside body I will just paste it out. Okay, save it. Okay, and we need to create few folders inside this assets, and those folders are CSS to place the CSS file, bootstrap.css file, and we have to create one more folder for JS. Okay, and then we okay, so that's all. Okay, so let's let's come to our desktop. Okay, I'll just copy this. I'll just copy and I will go to my C drive, XAMPP ht docs. Okay, inside this our project is PHP blog, and inside that assets folder and in CSS I will just paste it. Okay, and then I'll take these two files, copy, and I will go to my JS folder and I will paste it here. Okay, so now I have placed my CSS and JS files, all JS files inside my assets folder. Okay, so now we need to link to those files. Okay, so for linking we need to come to our head section and then okay, assets. Okay, because our CSS file is inside assets, and then CSS, then bootstrap. Okay, and the name of our CSS file is bootstrap.css. okay, and now we need to link our JS file. Okay, source assets slash JS slash jquery. Okay, 3.1.0 main.js. okay, and then we need to link our bootstrap.js file. Okay, so always remember this, guys, you need to put your jquery file before your bootstrap.js file. Okay, otherwise it will show you an error. Okay, so now let's come here, come to our browser and let's try to refresh. Okay, so now you can see it's displaying me a navigation menu. Okay, okay, now let's remove unwanted things from that header. Okay, I don't want this button. Okay, PHP blog application. Okay, so now let's refresh. Style, color, okay, now it's displaying PHP blog application. Okay, now let's come to our DB and let's remove this. Okay, because we already know that we have successfully connected to our database, so that's why I have removed that message. Okay, so now we have linked our JS and CSS file, bootstrap.js and CSS files. Okay, now we need to display a form. Okay, we need to create. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now let's create a div with a class called container. Okay, so now cut it and put it here. Okay, so now let's create two files inside our inc folder as header.php. okay, and one more file, save it as footer.php. okay, now what I will do is I will just take this nav, I will take that navigation, Control X. okay, I will cut it and I will put it here inside header.php, and I will take this cut and I will put it inside footer.php. okay, now I am going to call these header and footer files. okay, so I will just copy this, put it here, and I will change it to inc and then header.php. okay, and then inc and then footer.php. okay, now let's refresh. okay, so everything is fine now. okay, now let's come here and go to form. okay, so here I will just select this. okay, and I will just copy this entire form. okay, just copy. okay, and now paste it here. okay, and here action is index.php because I want to send a post method to the same file, which is index.php, and the method will be post. okay, and here it will be register user. okay, and then I will okay, now let's refresh first. okay, now it's displaying me all different types of form elements, so I will come back here. I will remove all those form elements which I don't want for this registration form. okay, let's remove this, and I don't want these things as well. okay, I don't okay, so what do okay, I want username, email and password. okay, I don't want this as well. okay, fine. okay, so now let's refresh. okay, now let's come here and below this let's create a div with a class of row. Okay, and then I will create one more div with a class of 6 columns, column d6, column wide. Okay, and then create okay, I will take this and I will put it here. Okay, form group, and then here it's a first is username. Okay, username, and this will be column large 2. Okay, and then next is 10. Okay, and the next one is okay, I don't want ID. Okay, I don't want this as well. Name will be username. Okay, let's placeholder. Okay, next is placeholder will be username, and then class form control. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, so now it's displaying me a text box as for username. Okay, and the same thing we have to done for password. Okay, username, email, and for password here email and password we have to repeat the same thing. So what I will do, I will just copy this. Okay, and then I will put it here, username, email. Okay, here email. Okay, next type will be email. I will just copy once again and I will put it here, paste it, and then password. Okay, password. Okay, and the type will be password. Okay, now save it. Okay, now refresh. Okay, so this one. Okay, this is our project. Okay, it's displaying username, email, and password. Okay, so now let's come here. Okay, a row, form control. Okay, this one is fine. Form group. Okay, here class form horizontal. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying properly. Okay, a title, then username, email, and password. Okay, and this password will be of type password. Password field will be of type of password. Okay, so now next we need to create the buttons. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll paste it here, and then column column. Okay, and then okay, I don't want this label for this. Okay, input type submit. Okay, and then name will be register and value will be register. Okay, class form control, and okay, class will be btn primary. Okay, I don't want this, and I want a button of type reset, class btn default. Okay, cancel. Okay, now let's delete this. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, it's displaying register and cancel button. Okay, so now we need to submit this form. We need to submit this form. Okay, I'll just close this. We need to submit this form to our index.php file. Okay, so to the same form we need to submit this. Okay, we need to submit to the same page. Okay, so now let's take this config and put it here. Okay, we need to include our db.php file. Okay, save it. Okay, so before that let's go to our database. Okay, so we have created a users table and we are trying to save the user details in this users table the moment when user click on this register button. Okay, now let's come here for our project. Okay, so let's if is set $_post. Okay, and we need to give a same name what we have given to our button as a name. Okay, so we need to put the same name which we have given it to our submit button. We have to use it here in our $_post. Okay, so now so and one more thing, you need to put the same name, username, email, and then password, whatever fields you have given for your table. Okay, so you can see this username, email, password, all these fields are exactly same. Okay, whatever I have written here. Okay, so you should keep this point in your mind that your name fields for your form elements like username, email, and password, these fields should exactly same with your fields in your table. Okay, so now let's come here. Okay, echo, let's try to print. Okay, register. Now let's refresh. Okay, let's click on this. Okay, it's displaying register. Okay, that means we are submitting a post request to the same file which is index.php. Let's try to take the user form details like username, email, and password _post username. Just copy couple of times. This should be email. Okay, and then password. Okay, so here I'm receiving the values that user is going to enter. Okay, so all the whatever values or the data for any user, for any type of user will going to enter inside this text boxes, that data will get collected and stored inside these variables. Okay, and then I will check for the emptiness. Okay, if user name is not equals to empty and email is not equals to empty and password is not equals to empty. Okay, that means if user has entered all the information inside all these text boxes, then we'll be taking the data and store that data inside the inside our table. Okay, otherwise we will display them an error message. Okay, else error like please fill all details. Okay, now here echo success. Let's refresh. Okay, now let's try to submit the form without entering anything in this text box, in these text boxes. Now let's click on register. Okay, so this should be echo. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, let's go back and refresh. Okay, now it's displaying please fill all the details message, all the details. Okay, so if I enter any information like Yadav at gmail.com, okay, and then password. Okay, now it will give a success message. Okay, that means user has entered all the information. Okay, next. Okay, so let's make it as $error. Okay, and let's try to display that error, okay, in better way. Okay, so let's come after this button. Okay, and then div class row. Okay, and let's copy this. Okay, and then PHP if is set $_post of register. Okay, then if, and then end if. Okay, div class of alert dismissible. Okay, and then alert warning. Okay, and then we'll try to display the message. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now let's try to submit the form without entering any information in this form. Okay, now it's displaying please fill all the details like thing. Okay, so this should be inside this div. Save it. Okay, now it's displaying please fill all the details. Okay, so now let's remove this row. Okay, then let's copy this. Okay, and it should be 6. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, 6 row. Okay, 6. Okay, now it's displaying the message in proper format. Okay, now we are done with our error messaging. Okay, now let's try to save the data inside our table. Okay, so for that let's come at the top. Okay, here in success. Okay, we need to remove that, and we need to hash our password first. Password hash. Okay, and we need to use sha1 we need to pass our password, copy and paste it here. Okay, and then this encrypted password we need to store inside the table. Okay, $sql insert into users, okay, the name of our table, and then values. Okay, and our field names are username, then email, and then password. Okay, and then we need to pass this information which user will be going to enter. Okay, and then email, password. Okay, so here inside these variables all the information will be going to store. Okay, all the information that user is going to enter inside this text boxes, all those information will get stored inside these variables, and these variables we are trying to enter inside the database or table. Okay, and then query, and we'll use our connection. Okay, we are able to use this connection because we have included this db.php file. Inside this db.php file we have our connection, okay, to our database. Okay, so we are using this database connection inside our index.php file because we have included this db.php file inside our index.php file. And then query, and we will need to pass our SQL query. Then if our query gets executed successfully, then we'll be redirecting the user to our login page, login.php, which we have not created yet. Okay, otherwise if something went wrong, then we'll display a message as failed to register user. Okay, now save it. Okay, now we need to create this login.php file. Okay, for that let's right click on our project, click on new file, and then save it as login.php, and then login user. Okay, now let's save it, and now okay, refresh. Okay, I will just enter. Okay, and then let's say pour up. Okay, and password. Okay, now I'm going to register, but it will show me a message as please include an email which is of the type email address. Okay, so this validation is coming because we have added the input type as email for our email in field input field. Okay, that's why we are able to get that message, gmail.com. okay, now let's click on register. Okay, so now you can see it has taken me to login.php file where it's displaying login user. Okay, so now let's come to our table. Okay, you can see pourab at gmail.com and password. Okay, and password is not been hashed. Okay, now let's see what is the reason for that. Okay, sha1. Okay, here it's fine. Okay, but okay, here the reason is I have not used this encoded password inside my query. Okay, so let's just paste. Okay, let's come here SQL and let's try to truncate our table first. Okay, truncate table users. Okay, okay, so here if I go to structure, you can see there is one more field with the name as user role. Okay, so with this user role I'm going to make differentiation between normal user and the admin. Okay, so what I will do is user role, right? Yeah. Okay, and for this I'm going to manually put a value as 1. Okay, to put a value of 1. So now let's come here. Okay, and now I'm going to enter the details of the user which I'm going to register. Okay, now let's register. I have entered the details of the user and now let's register. Okay, it's taken me to login page and now let's refresh our table. Okay, now you can see our password is been encrypted. Okay, so we have successfully registered a user who has a user role as 1, and now this user role 1, I'm considering this user as an admin. Okay, from now onwards. Okay, and the remaining all the users that I'm going to register, I'll be considering those users as a normal user. Okay, so now this is how we can register a user inside our database. Okay, so in next video I'll be completing the login functionality. Okay, so the user which I have registered now in this video, I'm going to use that user for logging into the system. Okay, so I hope you like this video. I hope you got some useful information out of this video. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, click on like button, share it with your friends, and I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching.